Okay. I just put something on there just so that at least you guys know I'm alive. I'm not gone or anything. How do I? So today I'm just not doing anything major except for I thought I'd hop on stream and do I would have done at this time anyway, which is just practice my normal drawing drills, which don't really result in me drawing anything, but just something I do for practice. So oftentimes I will just kind of put shapes together, which is what I've been doing in my videos. So let's go ahead with that. And really what I'm doing right now is just practicing keeping my hand steady and just general draftsmanship stuff. Keeps the pressure off, and I don't have to draw anything crazy. I just have to practice this. So for me, this is quite fun, and I can just kind of do this. And every now and again, I might turn it into something. So like maybe I'll actually end up drawing something interesting, but we'll see. For now, I'm just gonna do this. try something with a bit more interesting shapes. So like. I don't even know what that is. Okay. Now we can attempt to do something with this. Let's see what we can do. So I've been practicing this car for a little bit, the Jeep, because I find it really cool. I've been drawing it a lot, so I'm going to try and see if I can I even draw it from memory. Yeah, it's a cool looking vehicle, so I've kind of been trying to understand why it looks the way it looks, you know. I've drawn it many times. Lots of failures, so if this one goes badly, then well, it's expected to some extent. Okay, so we should do with this wheel. Well, it'd be nice if the wheel was turning. That would be interesting, right? So make the wheel turn. And there's a bunch of machinery. So I don't remember exactly how the wheels work on this car, but I know how they generally work. So just adding that there. And audio's low apparently. Let me see what I can do to fix that. I'm not talking that much anyway, but hopefully that sounds clearer. Hopefully. Do I like paper dragons? I don't know if that's a trick question, some trick question or something. I don't know. Do I like paper dragons? Probably. I don't mind. I don't have a problem with them. Also, I actually don't remember. I don't fully remember what some of the pieces of the car look like, so I'm gonna have to really study it again because I've forgotten some important pieces of information. not exactly happy with it, but you know, we'll do. We'll do. I haven't looked at the car for a while, so if I look at it again, hopefully I can remember more things. Whoa, I'm off the screen, aren't I? Oh no. Oh no, I'm off the screen. What am I gonna do? Am I back on? Should be back on now. How do I find the motivation to practice every day? Is a great question. That is a great question. Well, first of all, I don't practice every day, so I fail. I fail to get the motivation from time to time. So that's the first part. That's the first part of the answer. But when I am being, when I do manage to be consistent, I guess finding motivation is just, I guess, about reducing friction, right? There's this concept of friction when it comes to practice, right? And what you want to do is you want to reduce the difficulty, the time between thinking about drawing and actually drawing, right? And you can do that by using little tricks that will make you force you to like go and do it, right? And what I mean by friction is those things that kind of get in the way. There's a lot of things that get in the way when you want to draw, whether it's you're out and about a lot. Maybe if you're out and about a lot, one thing you can do is bring a sketchbook. That reduces friction, because if you have your sketchbook with you, then you're going to just find time. You might be there might be times when you're idle, and you can just pick it up and use it. Or another way of reducing friction is by reducing pressure. So having one thing I do is I don't really keep a sketchbook, because if I have a sketchbook, then I'm going to have tons of pressure to draw something good all the time, and I don't want to do that. So I don't need that kind of pressure in my life. So I tend to I don't really keep a sketchbook because if I keep a sketchbook, I'm never gonna draw anything. Um, so that's one thing you can do. I tell my mentees this all the time. I have a rule that helps me draw quite often, and that rule is that whenever I'm watching TV, I have to like draw. So, and you'll find that you actually have way more time than you think, because there's many times in your day when you're kind of being idle, right? Um, and you're gonna find that if you follow rules like that, you'll end up drawing way more, right? So when I had the rule, I have to draw when I'm watching TV. It made me draw so much more because I watch a lot of TV, so you know you can like piggyback off of things that you do. Um, Carry a sketchbook around you. Um, I don't know about motivation, but one thing I would try to do is try to reduce the need for motivation so that you can just kind of like do it more like as an everyday practice, right? It should be like drawing should be, if you want to be good at drawing, you don't want to be looking for motivation to draw. Drawing needs to be kind of a lifestyle thing. Like it needs to be something that you kind of do naturally. It's like a default thing, right? Like if I'm not hanging out with my wife or I don't know, playing games or something, playing video games or I don't know, out and about, I'm drawing, right? If I'm not working, I'm drawing. It's like a default. It should be like a default thing, right? And so and motivation kind of doesn't allow that to. If you're looking for motivation, that's won't necessarily become the case for you. I guess some motivation helps. I guess what does motivate me is hopefully being able to draw the way I want to be able to draw. But it might not work for everybody. Some people just need discipline. So yeah, I try not to use too much motivation because it won't really help me. Just kind of like having ways that trick me into drawing more. Like again, the watching TV thing. If I'm watching TV, I'm drawing because that's my rule. Let's see. I wonder why you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Let me know if this sounds better. Yeah, let me know if this sounds better. I don't know. I don't know what you're hearing. So maybe if I move it closer to me, maybe it might come a bit closer again. Yeah, let me know. Let me know if that sounds better. But basically, motivation. Don't rely on it too much because you can't really be motivated all the time. Like realistically, like you kind of have to. You gotta treat it like you gotta make it a habit, and the way to make it a habit is by kind of finding ways to make it easy to do naturally. So like um, yeah, like some of the rules I have really help me, like watching TV while I draw. Like that's my rule. I have to draw if I'm watching TV. Otherwise, I'm not allowed to watch TV because it's just going to be a waste of my time, really. So those are some of the things you can do that kind of force you to do it, right? Um, and I think take the pressure off. A lot of us, we want to draw and we end up procrastinating and not drawing because we really put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So we want to draw something because we want to draw everything we draw to be amazing. We don't want to do a bad drawing. But I think you should welcome bad drawings. You should just let it happen. Bad drawings are a part of life, you know. Hey, how you doing, Joshua? No problem. Yeah, the bad drawings are. The bad drawing thing kept me from drawing for a very long time. Like I tell people all the time. Like I actually stopped drawing for quite a long time in my life. I just stopped drawing for about 3 4 years, just straight no drawing. Like I mean, maybe I would do a little bit and post something online if I had like a burst of motivation. Um, but I stopped drawing for a while, and part of that was because of kind of procrastinating because I wanted to draw something so perfect, right? But I've learned to embrace failure, and if you don't embrace it, you're going to. I actually think if you don't embrace failure, there's actually a danger in not embracing it. The danger is that you actually won't get good. Like that's my honest opinion. Like if you don't embrace failure, you won't. You're probably not going to get as good as fast as somebody who embraces it. Because that person who embraces failure is going to be happy to make tons and tons of mistakes, and those mistakes are going to, as they compound quicker and quicker, because they're not so worried about drawing. They're going to draw more because um, they don't care about the outcome as much. And if you draw more, you're going to get better quicker. That's just the way it works. Again, when I'm practicing like this, I'm not really aiming for anything. And again, like to follow up a little bit more on that, Fahim. The reason why do, I've just learned to find drawing really fun. So like when I'm doing things like this, for example, this is like really low pressure. Um, I'm just doing one thing. The only thing I'm practicing, I mean, I am drawing other things, but the only thing I'm focusing right now is just good line quality. That's the only thing I'm focusing on, and I can do that while watching a movie, relaxing. It's just kind of relaxing to do this, and I just take the pressure off by not trying to draw something great, like amazing. It's just practicing one thing, keeping my hand steady, and that's about it. other sessions. I have other sessions to practicing like more complicated things, but um, yeah, not today. Today I want to relax. Um, Hi Julia. Practicing anatomy is not easy, and drawing it from memory is even harder. But there are some things you can do to improve that, so I can give you some tips on that. So like with anatomy, with anything you're drawing, it's really important to understand the kind of have like a layered structure to your practice. So like I never kind of like practice. I always kind of like build things up, right? So if I'm drawing, trying to practice like arms, for example, I'm never just like studying the anatomy and trying to memorize it. So one thing people often forget is that there are skills that come before learning anatomy that are really important. Okay, so like making things look organic. So again, something I tell my mentees all the time, right, is to draw something that looks anatomical. Before you even get to that, ask yourself this question: can you draw things that just feel organic? Right? Do you know how to? Because like, let's say you want to draw an arm, right? I'm not going to draw the arm yet, but an arm is just an overlapping of like different forms, right? And sometimes the reason why some people's anatomy doesn't look as good is because they're not actually good at the other thing, which is to just do like this, for example. Something like this, which is just overlapping forms. And so before you get to anatomy, can you do things like this, like just making things look organic and just getting the right kind of overlap? Okay, because I kid you not, once you are comfortable with this, like the anatomy kind of just comes easier. It comes easier because like you have somewhere to put it, you have a structure through which to think about it, right? um, but apart from that, I kind of, again, my layered structure for learning anatomy kind of goes like, first of all, I study like the actual muscles, and oftentimes I'll actually draw them over and over again from like, from the book or whatever, and then I will draw them from memory. I'll try to actually draw them from memory. Um, but when it comes to actually, what's it? After a while, I will stop doing that because I think just trying to memorize it from a book isn't necessarily the best way to do it. The main thing I do to learn anatomy is I look at pictures of people, and I look at them move, and I just try to draw what I see them doing. Then I often will remove the reference, and then I'll try to draw the same thing again, and I do that back and forth, back and forth. So I'll draw an image, remove the image, draw what I thought I just saw, and I kind of will like keep doing that over and over again. It can get boring, so I don't do it forever, but like it really does help. But what really helps with anatomy is knowing how to draw organic shapes, right? Because then you can actually get away with not knowing as much as you think you need to know. Because like, let's look at an arm, for example, right? What is an arm, right? An arm is just a bunch of interlocking like shapes, right? Like, the reason I'm able to draw this is because I'm just doing this. Like, there's the thought process for doing this is very similar to this, plus some knowledge of anatomy. Yes, I do have to memorize some anatomy, but like that's not really enough to draw a good-looking anatomy, if you know what I mean. I think I think we meet sometimes I get bored of drawing the same thing. I want to move on to drawing more complex stuff. What you're doing now. So, yeah, then don't draw the same thing. Yeah, try and do something different, I guess. Yeah, try something different. When drawing forms, Kim Jong-Ji says, "Goes in a box." Do you do the same? I'm curious as someone who's a sense of 3D. Do I think about everything through a box? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That's exactly how I think. Yeah, because I learned from Kim Jong-Ji and Kim Jong-Ji. I'm a top glazer of Kim Jong-Ji. So I basically like listen to everything he says and try to learn everything that he says. Yeah. So yeah, I try to do exactly that. Yeah. I'm an unashamed glaze Kim Jong-Ji glazer. Drawing boxes from any angle is hard. My best the best advice I can give for drawing heads from any angle is learn to get comfortable with drawing forms from any angle, right? What is a head really like? Let me get my mouth and nose properly. Well, if you're struggling to draw the nose properly, then here's one thing, right? Can you draw? What is a nose, right? This is a nose. To me, this is a nose. When I think of a nose, this is what I think of. Plus some extra stuff, right? That's a nose, right? And maybe you want to actually show, okay, well, we can show the fact that it goes like up like that, then right. So this shape right here, it's a little bit wrong, but this is a nose, okay. Well, if you struggle to draw a nose in any angle, you might not be struggling to draw a nose in any angle. It might be that you actually struggle to just draw ordinary forms in any angle, like um, because if you're not thinking about things in terms of forms, like basic forms, you're already in the wrong direction. Like when I'm thinking about putting a note, when I'm thinking about a face, um, I'm just thinking about ordinary. I'm thinking about like very simple forms like this. Um, so this is my conception of a face. When I'm thinking about drawing heads, this is what I think about. I don't know what other people do. I don't really follow a Loomis method. I kind of used to actually, but this is generally what I have in my head. Okay, if you want to know, if you're curious, this is what I have in my head pretty much all the time when I'm drawing faces. And this helps me draw it in any angle because this is a box. This is a box, but some kind of like shape cut out of it, right? And then this bottom bit is just kind of like it's a bit of a weird shape actually. It looks something like this for the jawline, right? And if you can do that from any angle, if you can draw that from any angle, then you can draw this whole form from any angle. You can draw a face in any angle. Um, so your problem might not be faces, okay? It might mean that you don't have a good simplification to work off of, right? Like, let's pick a really difficult angle. This is one that people struggle with a lot, right? Like, people hate this angle because it's so difficult, right? But like, all this angle is we just take this and we're just drawing a box in another angle, right? Let's move the nose down a little bit. Yeah, I like that. I like that better. Okay. Right, so, but if you can draw boxes and manipulate forms and you have your own conception of a head that works for you, you could use mine if you want, you don't have to. Um, then it shouldn't, then you won't struggle to draw heads in any angle. I know I make it sound really simple, but like I promise you, it's not the heads. You're not struggling. You're likely not struggling with heads. Like your struggle is something else. Most people think like, see the if you're if you have to go how to draw this X Y Z, how to draw Y, how to draw X, then you have a fundamental problem in the way you think about drawing to begin with, because you shouldn't have to think like that. You should be thinking, you should be learning how to draw forms, like really strong forms, and then you look at reference, and then you look at how you can break that reference down, uh, using the forms that you know how to draw, basically. Does that make sense? Like the whole how to draw X thing is like a mistake to begin with. It's kind of, I know it's weird, controversial, but um, that's my view at least. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I took time to figure this out for myself because I didn't really like the Loomis one because personally, um, I don't. When it comes to curves, I really struggle with curves, so I have to use boxes. Like that's just how I can't. I just can't do curves. Like I mean, I can do them obviously, but like if I can think about something in terms of a box, then that makes things way easier for me. So that's why I couldn't do the Loomis method, because it was like this and like this, and I was like, where's the middle of the circle? Where's the yeah, I don't know. I just, for me, I was like, yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna do that. you know. Artwood posted a video. Yeah, Artwood is, yeah. Artwood gets it. He gets it. He gets it. I can tell. He gets it. Um, all the how to draw X thing. Like I'm putting you on game right now, guys. Okay, putting you on serious game right now. Okay, how to draw X, how to draw Y. Um, if you can get yourself to like stop searching stuff like that and actually like learn how to um, break things down and understand what you're looking at, you'll never need to search that again. Like if you'll never need to search that again. Like I can't draw everything. Like I literally can only draw. I can't. But I can tell you that using the methods that that a lot of people teach, like Artwad, for example, where it's all about breaking down forms and understanding the forms that you're looking at. You can get by without you can look at things and just understand how to draw them yourself from memory. You don't need to like, there's no special formula. Like heads, the same way I draw heads is the same way I draw like cars. Like I'm not, it's all about breaking down the forms, you know. And I actually advise people, you know, like I recommend learning having your own way of drawing things. So like rather than following the Loomis method, can you find your own way of drawing the head? Like that is very bespoke to you. Because if you can figure out something that works for you and it's perfect for you, then you're basically unstoppable, right? You're unstoppable. You know. What's that? Could you quickly go through foreshortening perspective to help me understand it? So I get mad. Sometimes I don't. Foreshortening in perspective. Foreshortening perspective is. Let me think about this for a second. How do I talk about foreshortening? I guess it's just if you want to get good at foreshortening, I would probably recommend like just kind of practicing drawing things that come at you, you know, like things that are coming at you, like for example, at some point this becomes foreshortened, right? Doing things like practicing things like this will really help you to see it. There's no formula, there's no special formula, but things like this will help you because it will help you like see how it gradually happens, right? Like, so start by drawing something that is not foreshortened, right? And then work your way up to something that is foreshortened. So like from here to here. That's something that can help you because you're giving your brain time to think about the transition, right? But yeah, there is no like special formula, you know, for foreshortening. You know, another way you can learn foreshortening is by, yeah, finding things. For example, drawing your hand and jamming. That was a Freudian slip because I was reading a comment. One thing you can do is take your hand, practice drawing it like this, you know, doing things like this, looking at it and trying to draw it like this, right? Things like that. Because observation is like the most important thing, right? If you can observe and see the foreshortening and understand how this finger goes from like this to being foreshortened over time, this is going to help you notice. You won't get it straight away. I promise you will not get it straight away. But the more you do it, your brain will get used to what it looks like because yeah, you'll get used to it. You'll just get used to it. And yeah, another issue with foreshortening is like, say you're drawing like a hand or whatever, right? Obviously that's foreshortened, okay? Now, how big is this meant to be, right? Is it meant to? Are these fingers meant to be this big, or this big? Now that's going to depend on the lens that you're using and how far the person is to you, right? How far, are they close or are they far, right? If they're close, then it might look like this. If they're far away, it might look like this, right? So the fingers are taking way less space uh, um, as a proportion of the whole drawing, right? And that's because of perspective, right? So there's two things going on at the same time. Foreshortening is a thing, but also perspective is a thing. Okay, so, and you're only gonna get used to that by just drawing a lot and seeing many kind of photo references and understanding how things look as you move things around. That's pretty much it, right? What was the iteration process like for jamming those forms in your memory, say like those heads? What was the iteration process for jamming stuff in memory was, I think, give me a second. So the heads, I spoke about this in my video. I spoke about this in my video, and the process I use for remembering stuff is actually kind of like an organic process. Okay, so like I try to remember things in terms of steps to make things. Okay, like most people look at an image and they try to memorize the image. Okay, like you're even like the words that you're using indicate that, right? You're using the word jamming. Okay, like jamming. Why are we jamming things into our heads for? Why are we doing that? Is that necessary? Or can we figure out a way to understand why things are the way they are and build things like that? Build things using kind of like steps, right? So like, the way I do things is I don't try to jam things. Some things really have to memorize them, but with a lot of things, like for example, the head, right? The heads that I'm drawing, right? I'm just thinking about like what I need, right? Like, okay, I think about this. I think about things in terms of like cooking, right? You have ingredients, so these are my ingredients. Right, this is my ingredients. Just laying them out for you. So these are my ingredients, okay? Oh, I just drawn them a little bit too high. My bad. Let me move that down a bit for you. Now you tell me. I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, okay? All right. What's so hard to remember about a box, this triangular prism thing, this other triangular prism, and this shape? This is probably the hardest thing to remember, right? It's not really that difficult to remember, okay? Now, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think we can all get to a place where we can remember this kind of thing. 4 shapes. Wait, yeah, 4 shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? After this, there's no more memorization to be done. Okay? For me, at least for me, there's nothing else, right? So, again, the mistake you might be making is you're trying to look at something and you're trying to, like, stuff it in your head. But you can break it down and think about the pieces that make it up and think about how to reconfigure it. Okay, so how do I make this head, right? Okay, well, I know that to make it, I take this and I take this away from it. So this is something I take away. And as a result, I can get this. right? So these are steps, right? No memorization has been done. So and the reason I'm doing this is because I know I need to put eyes here, right? So I'm thinking about what is necessary to make the thing I want to make, and this is a face. So again, I'm not like memorizing anything per se. I'm kind of thinking about what I want to do and then going from there. You know, it's like a bit backwards. So what do I need? Well, I need somewhere to put the eyes. So what I'm going to do? Oh, I'm going to cut into a box, right? Okay, what else do I need? Well, I need a nose. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take this and I'm going to add this here to make a nose, right? So yeah, there is some memorization because you need to know what a general face looks like. But if you understand some of the main things that a face is expected on a face, you can like follow steps to make this. So the next step would be to add this on, right? So and there we go. We got the nose on there, right? No memorization, right? I'm just putting this here, okay? And then for this bit, we just put this right under it, like that. How do I decide on what to memorize and what to memorize and what not to memorize? Um, um, that's actually a really good question. I think for me, it's about memorizing the least. So this is what I try to do. Okay, I try to memorize the least things possible. Okay, if I can memorize the least things possible, then I'm happy. Like the least I can do. The problem with most people is actually they actually don't know that they can actually memorize way less and get away with it, right? Like when I was drawing this Vespa scooter, right? For me, I'm thinking about this shape. Let's just think about the front of the scooter for now. I'm not going to draw the whole thing, right? I'm thinking about this shape, right? And I'm thinking about one of these, and I don't actually have to think about it more than I can. Even though I have to draw the mud guards, um, I don't think about that. I literally don't bother thinking about it. I know that I need to put something on top of this, so that's just information I have, right? And then when it comes to uh, this thing in the middle, I don't know what it's called. I'm just thinking about this, right? Like a yeah, like a triangle, almost like a triangular prism again, right? And I just kind of put them together. Oh yeah, and the top, the actual what's this called? The steering thing. The steering thing is just one of these with some triangular prisms attached again. Voila, like that. Okay. Now, yes, along the way I'm going to do some more stylization, but essentially, like, this is, as far as I'm concerned, I'm done now. I'm going to go and try to draw the front of the Vespa. Okay, so here we go. Oh, again, I've done it again. I've done it again, guys. Come off the screen. Sorry, my bad. Let me take this up so you can actually see what I've just done. So I kind of rushed the wheels there, but I'm putting all these together. All these together, they come together in my mind to draw this Vespa. Yes, there are like small details that are not part of this simplified group of objects, but like those will come like as you draw the thing, whatever you're trying to draw more, those details will come. The main thing I would recommend for most people is just focus on the largest shapes you can see, and the rest will come. Like the rest will definitely come. The largest shape. So I guess that's the answer to the question. How do I decide what I'm going to memorize and what not to memorize? I'm thinking about the largest possible shapes. That's what I'm going to draw. The largest, most meaningful shapes. The shapes that mean the most in the thing I'm trying to draw are the shapes that kind of give it its form, give it its distinctiveness, right? Yeah. Ah, that was my mistake. It actually goes like this. Yeah, it's actually like this. And then the wheel goes under. There we go. That's more like it. Should you practice in pen or pencil? You should practice in whatever you're comfortable with because, um, oh, okay, I understand the question a little bit. So I know people ask me this as well. So like, the reason I sometimes tell people to practice in pen is because when you draw in pencil, there's a there's a sense that you can like rub away and you can like keep changing what you're drawing, and you don't really commit. You can some people if they draw in pen, they end up like pencil. Sorry, they end up not committing to any line, so they end up drawing like this, right? Like who knows? God knows which line they're meant to draw there. God knows what they're trying to do, but you can try to um, prevent that and by drawing in pen, right? And what drawing in pen does is it forces you to pre visualize what you're trying to draw, right? So like when you draw in pencil, when you draw in pencil, let me get. You know, actually, let me explain some of the psychological things that are happening when you're drawing in pencil. Okay, and I could be wrong, but I mean, this is what happens to me at least, and I'll use this paper again. So when you're drawing in pencil, oftentimes what you're doing is you're trying to find where the drawing is, right? You're trying to find the forms. You're not sure what you're doing, right? You're kind of like trying to find the thing that you're drawing, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. And I draw like this when I'm doing like more academic drawing, just because I like the lines that it gives you from like drawing this way, right? So there's absolutely nothing wrong with drawing like this. And again, like, because I'm not classically trained, but I can do like more academic stuff. So I'm used to drawing like this, you know. And so there's a lot of benefits with drawing like that. However, when you're drawing like this, what you're actually doing is your thoughts are here. Your visualization is happening on the page. Okay, so you're transferring job of visualization over to the page. So you're seeing the drawing, you're adjusting it. You're thinking over what you're drawing. You are making adjustments. You are realizing what you're drawing. You're also realizing yourself, right? Because like it's a very organic process, right? However, when you draw in pen, at least when you draw like I do, which is like I try not to draw too many lines. What's actually happening is you're transferring that visualization from seeing what you're drawing on the page to seeing it in your mind's eye first. So you visualize it in your mind first before you put it on paper. That's why drawing in pen is much harder, because you have to think about what you're actually trying to draw before you draw it. At least a little bit before. You don't have to think about the whole thing, but you have to you're almost learning to think about a little bit. You're actually learning to think a few steps ahead of the drawing, right? So like when I'm drawing in pencil, I'm basically like everything I'm thinking is coming out immediately. Like there's no all my visualization is being done on the page. But when I draw in pen, the visualization is done in my mind, and I'm just spitting out what I see in my mind, if you know what I mean. Or you might see it on the page. Some people see it on the page. That's fine as well. But the point is that even if you see it on the page or you see it in your mind's eye, the point is drawing in pen forces you to see it way earlier than when you draw it in pencil. Now you can draw in pencil the way somebody with a pen draws. So like you can draw like this, which is how I draw. So right now I'm actually visualizing before I draw, right? But drawing in pen just forces you to do that. So again, it's really up to you. Like you still can practice these things without a pen, sorry. But I mean, having a pen kind of forces you to do it. So, you know, so it's up to you. I think everybody should definitely have a time where they practice in pen. They don't have to do it always, but like maybe 20% of their practice is in pen. I don't know. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. So I'm not dogmatic about it, but I do tell some people, some of my mentees, to draw in pen when I see that they're being too hesitant all the time. And making them do that is almost forcing them to make a decision and decide and pre-visualize on what they're trying to draw before they draw it, you know? So should you practice in pen or pencil? The answer is yes. Yes, you should practice in pen or pencil. back to my practicing my draftsmanship. Again, just practicing my line quality. I thought I would do this on stream because you guys don't want to see me practice anything else, because I am basically pulling my hairs out when I'm doing any other kind of practice. Oh, looks like my camera battery died. Give me a second. Oh, I do not like that. That was very fiddly. let's see. You may just think about eye level and overlap. With regard to mannequins, yeah. Well, maybe just think about eye level and overlap. Yes, I am thinking about that. I don't think it's the only thing I'm thinking about when I'm drawing mannequins. What am I thinking about when I'm doing mannequins? I don't think it's the only thing I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about overlap. Yes, I am thinking about overlap. But one of the main things I'm trying to do is make sure that I'm getting proportions right, and I'm showing the forms of the box properly, and making sure that the lines that I'm drawing make sense, right? Now they don't all need to converge to the same place, because you can have the body twisted in all kinds of directions, so it kind of breaks a lot of laws of perspective in some ways. But I'm just trying to make sure that, like, at least this box doesn't feel completely off. Like, all these lines could be converging somewhere. All these lines could be converging somewhere, right? I'm just trying to make sure that each of my forms make sense, and they feel solid, and a way of doing that is to make sure that your convergence is correct on each thing that you draw. Like, I don't know if that answers your question though. I don't know where to put the next leg. I'll think about it in a second. Um, yeah, that'll do. I don't know if that looks right. I didn't know where to put it. I did not know where to put that. Well, we found somewhere eventually. What proportions do you use for mannequin? I noticed in Tom Fox's course he said he doesn't really bother with proportions. Yes, I don't. I don't bother with them at all. I don't. I don't think about them. I don't bother them with them at all. Where I do, the reason I am thinking about proportions, but I don't have a like a like a I don't go like I don't measure eight heads long and all this stuff. I am thinking about it though. I am always thinking about making sure the proportions are correct, but I don't do it by actually memorizing proportions. I do it by many times. Not right now. I'm not using reference right now, but I used lots of reference to draw people. So I will often draw people using like from Pinterest or whatever, and I'll break them down into boxes. And over time, I've gotten used to what the general proportions of the body are. That's how I got you. That's how I am thinking about proportions. I am not thinking about them in terms of like, oh, this is the head, and then you measure 8 bodies down. I don't do that, but I am thinking about proportions. It's a bit it's a bit hard to explain, but that's basically what I'm doing. But yeah, I am similar to Tom in the sense that I don't bother myself about proportions most of the time. Yeah. I just want to have landmarks in mind so I can visualize how much space each part takes up. Yeah, I think it can help to do that. So I'm not against it. I don't tend to talk about them like because some like the reason I don't bother. I think if you really want to find out what landmarks work for you, I think you should do it. Like it's just that I think reference is so important. I think people don't. Well, I'm finding out more and more that people don't like using reference, even though I thought people liked using reference, but people don't want to use again, like the reason I can draw from imagination is because I've used lots of reference. Like you have to use reference, and when you use reference, you learn these things. Like you learn human proportions. You're naturally gonna figure out. You're gonna naturally know whether you're in the whether you're drawing a human correctly or not, just by using lots of reference. Then you don't need it anymore. Like I don't really need reference to draw certain things, right? At least certain poses. Some poses. There are many poses I need reference for, but there are some poses where I don't need reference, and it's because I've just looked at them many times, right? You don't need it forever, but you do need it for some bits. Like at least while you're learning how to draw people, you need to have reference around. Okay, so I recommend using lots of reference. You will learn the proportions of humans. Trust me. You just keep drawing loads and lots of box mannequins of people that you see, maybe in real life or in pictures on the internet, and I guarantee you over time you will not need to memorize proportions. And then on top of that, you'll also know how to break down people into mannequins. So it's a 2-in-1 exercise. There you go. So is the idea to imagine a more simplified form while your brain actually fills in the rest of the information for you? Yes, in a sense, yes. So like, when I was drawing the Vespa, or when I draw like a car or whatever, when I'm drawing a car, I'm only thinking about a few things. I'm only thinking about the boxes and stuff like that. The kind of like the major forms, and then my brain does a lot of the. There's actually something I do. I don't know if I can explain it now because it's quite long to explain, but essentially just like, yes, when I'm drawing a car, for example, I am not thinking about every single detail of the car, but I'm thinking about the main forms, and then when I actually get to drawing the car, so like here's the main forms of the car, here we are. So these are the main forms I'm thinking about. Fairly simple. But then when I actually go in to draw the car, I am thinking about the details, but I'm keeping those details confined within this major form. Do you get what I mean? So it's kind of yeah, you are right. I am doing that, what you said there. Yeah. I need to think of a better way to explain some of this stuff. Okay, let's say you were hoping I would give you license to not memorize proportions. Yes, you have my permission. You have my permission to not memorize proportions. You have my permission to do exactly that. Anatomy book. Oh, long time. We're talking a long way away from doing something like that. Long way away. Um, I'm comfortable with anatomy, but like I would want to. Um, yeah, it's gonna take. I mean, I could do an anatomy. I could do an anatomy book. I just think it would take me. There's some other things I want to do before I do something like that. But yeah, it's not off the cards. Because I do have a bit of a different approach to anatomy that I don't think anyone else I've seen does. So yeah, I won't rule it out, but I don't look out for it now. Probably way in the future. Way in the future. Have I ever thought about doing graphic novel or comic? Yeah, I have actually. Yeah, a few times in the past. I don't know. I don't know if I will actually go and do something like that though. Uh, yeah, I think I probably will do a graphic novel one day. I don't know when exactly that's going to be, but I wouldn't be surprised if I went ahead and did that. Yeah, maybe one day. One day I might actually go ahead and do that. Why not? Why not? For the culture. For the culture. I don't know what it would be about though. I'm not like I used to be into anime, manga, but not so much as much now. So my influences are like it would have been that many years ago. It would have been something like very shonen esque, but these days, um, I don't know. Probably be something way less. It wouldn't be very action packed. I don't think, because I don't really. Or maybe it might be. Maybe it would be. I don't know. Maybe it would be. Maybe it would be. Kingdom Come. I've gotta check that out now. What are we talking? Um, Kingdom Come. Let me Kingdom Come. Oh, a game. Ah, Looks good. It looks good. This is my kind of thing. If only I had more time to play games, you know. If only I had time. And yes, you're right. Yeah, the commitment of a Oh, it's a comic. Oh, I thought it was a game. Okay, isn't every panel painted? Well, I gotta check this out. I mean, what Kingdom Come comic? Okay. Oh, okay. Alex Ross. Oh, yeah, he's a. Ross is the goat. He's the goat. He's a legend. Okay. Um. Wow. Everything. It really is painted. Every single panel is painted. Wow. That's crazy. That's a lot of effort. Incredible. Yeah, Alex Ross is crazy. Like these um these dynamic, extremely dynamic poses, and like, but he doesn't break them or anything, you know. And these compositions that he comes up with are just crazy, absolutely insane. I'll even let me show you what I'm looking at right now. Oh, it's on my phone. It's really small, but um, um, this right here, absolutely insane. Well, I mean, what is that? That is crazy. That is absolutely insane. Um, I don't know if this is from the Kingdom comic, by the way. I'm just looking at his artwork. Um, I have seen the Kingdom Come stuff, and it looks wow. Thanks for sharing this with me. I'm gonna look into this some more. Actually, it's really cool. I've been watching Alex Ross for a very long time. I remember when I found his work. I found his work maybe when I was about 16 or 17, and I'm 20. I'm 28 now. Um, and I was like, "What is this? This is incredible." Um, I think he works in gouache, if I'm not mistaken. Does he work in gouache? Anyway, let me. Let's fill another page. Why not? Why don't we? Why don't we? Why don't we? We'll do some more figure stuff. don't know about that. You know, I don't know about that. Yeah, thanks, Oduma. It's too late. Oh no. Too late to fix this right here. Oh, what a shame. How do you avoid or minimize burnout? Um, I do have burnout. I do get burnout, to be honest. So I haven't figured that one out. But again, like I just try to make it fun. So you know, again, drawing shouldn't be a chore. Okay, if drawing is a chore, then you're doing it wrong. Okay, if you think that if you are if you have to like get yourself into, oh, I got to get into the mood of drawing, and okay, I need to draw, and then you're going through that whole ritual, then you might need to rethink how you approach art in general, because your approach might be wrong. You might be a perfectionist as well, so you're like everything has to be perfect, so whenever you draw it's stressful, right? And it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be stressful every time you draw. Like one of the reasons I did this stream is to just kind of like show you how I tend to sit when I'm drawing. Like today I just wanted to practice my line. I mean, I ended up drawing all this stuff, but I actually just wanted to practice my lines, right? And that's often what I'll do. I'll just give myself simple things to practice, and I don't bother about myself about things looking good. If things end up looking nice, that's a nice plus. But like, I try to take the heat off most of the time, unless like there's a good reason not to, not a good reason to push myself a lot. And I am pushing myself, but mileage is so much more important than like pushing yourself really hard when it comes to drawing. Just getting that mileage in is gonna make all the difference for you. So you need to find a way. You need to find a way to make it fun for yourself, right? You need to, whatever you're doing that's making it like into a drudgery, right? That's making you burn out. And again, I get this because like when I'm in those moods when I just want to get so much better and I'm just like rage drawing kind of, I understand like there's a big temptation to like really really stress about everything that you're drawing and everything has to be perfect, and I guess I do burn out by doing that, but when I'm not burning out, what works for me is making it fun, you know. Hear me out. Yeah, Cool, Joshua. Take care. All the best. Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend. So I'll probably be finishing in the next few 10 minutes maybe. So if you have any questions, let me know. What's this guy doing? Standing in the corridor. God knows what for. Thanks, Arzak. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Who knows? Maybe I'll do an anatomy stream next. Oh man, I did it again. Off the page, guys. Off the page. Let me move it down for you. There we go. How can I draw with those lines? How can I draw with the lines? I think we all draw with lines. Oh, I understand your question. Okay. Let's see. Let me just take this down. It's freestyling, but there's a bit of planning, but it's like a bit of both. So there's planning, but there's also no planning. So like, again, like I know how to draw a head, so I'm kind of drawing around this invisible structure that I have in my mind. But no, it's not planned. This drawing specifically. Not all my drawings are planned. No. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So it was nice hanging out with you guys. I'm still working on my my next video. I actually have a child, so that's why I haven't been able to make videos. But and I'm doing like mentoring as well. So it's like I'm either doing that or working or taking care of my child. So, but I'm still gonna put out some stuff for you, and I plan on getting back into consistency so that I can make some cool videos. Yeah, so that's the plan. Anyway, all the best, guys, and I hope you guys have a good weekend. Take care.